Hey guys, Deborah here, back again. Today I wanted to make some little pockets for junk journals, and I've got this old cardstock that I've cut, so it's just a 12 by 12. So the first thing I did, so you didn't have to be bored, is I cut a strip off the side that's 5 inches, and then with the remaining I turned them the other way. Show you the stripy bit so you can see what I mean. So if I cut a bit off the side that's 5 inches, then I'm left with this piece here, which is about 7 inches. This paper's a little bit, it's not quite 12 by 12, but it'll work. So that piece off the side, that 5 inches, I then trim that to 7, and then I turn the remainder and cut 2 more strips that are about the same size. So I've got 3 strips that are around about 5 by 7. I'm going to be using this side will be the display side, and I'm going to make some pockets. So what I wanted is some pockets that put these tags in, but I wanted like a trio of pockets. So how I'm going to do that is I'm going to start by working out where I want them. So I'm going to start by folding over. I quite like that grunge bit, so I'm going to keep that. I'm going to start by folding this over. I don't know, that's about maybe 3/4 of an inch. Let's see, 2 centimetres, 3/4 of an inch, pretty good. And then I'm going to fold it up so that I've got about the same showing at the top. I'm just using my bone scorer here to get a nice fold. I don't like to spend ages on things. I mean, and get things done quite quickly, and I'm going to repeat the process on the other 2, so I'm not worrying about measuring. If you want to measure, go for it, but for me it's about the creativity, and I find that if I'm not measuring everything, I'm more creative. And the reason that I'm doing the fold here, this piece here, is that if you've just got a straight piece like that without the fold, you've got quite a thin edge to try and get your tag in and out of, whatever you're sliding in and out of there. Whereas if you've got this, you've got a thick edge, and it's easier to slip your card in and out, particularly because I want 3 stacked on top of one another. I've got one there, and I'm going to put that there like that. And then I'm just going to do this last one, so we'll just do a bit of a fold at the top, and then fold it over. So we've actually got 3 pockets now that look like this. So this will be my first pocket. The tag will sit in there. You can also put something like this. It's a Rolodex card. You can put that in, which is a bit shorter. If you don't want your tag to sit up that high, you can just trim the bottom of your tag off. I haven't really worked out what I'm going to put in these pockets yet. It was really just about getting them done and showing you how I do them. I'm just using double-sided tape. It's what I like to use, but it's your project, so you can use whatever you like. It's whatever you're comfortable with. And I'm just going to stick all these down. Again, I don't measure and cut my double-sided tape if it's not enough, like this bit that's a little bit short. Just get a bit more and stick it on there. My craft style is certainly not so much about being perfect. Perfection is really not my middle name. Impatient is, I think, is my middle name. Not really, it's Joan, but there you go. Just roll that up a bit and stick that down like that. So I've got an old book here. I'm just going to rip. This is actually the book I'm going to make into my journal. And oh, sacrilege, I just ripped it. It's all right. There's a million old books in the world, and this one's not a first edition or anything, so there you go. It'll be fine. I'm just going to stick this on here. I'll find my double-sided tape. Here it is. Always lose things. Do you lose things when you're scrapbooking? Do you find that suddenly you're looking for something and you just don't have it anywhere? It's really annoying, isn't it? Yes, happens to me all the time. So I'm just going to stick some double-sided tape down there just to get rid of this colourful edge and make it a bit more vintagey anyway. And leave a tiny bit on the end there. That's a bit of double-sided tape, that's fine, that'll come off. Stick it down and fold it and tear it. That's going to be hidden, so that's kind of thing I'm going for. Just trim those edges off. That's where the double-sided tape is. Again, if you want to trim this edge, you wouldn't do it on this side because you can't see the edge. So just turn it over. Turn it up like that. And then this next one is going to go on the top of here. So we're just going to take a piece of the paper that we were using. I might even get a whole story the way this is going. And stick a bit down. Stick this one on here. That's going to be inside the pocket. And I must find my better scissors. These are just old, cheap scissors, but I have to dig out my proper ones from somewhere. I'm trying to get myself organised at the moment. I actually got some stuff. I'll show you a video on my craft room. And then we're just going to do the third one just the same way. Yep, we've got a little bit of paper left here. That should be enough to get us through. Oops, that didn't work. Okay, that didn't work. See, mistakes and all. That's what you get with me. Just roll the double-sided tape off. That's quite a nice effect, isn't it? Look at that. I've got this really cool words on the double-sided tape. Wow, I'll have to play with that later. Anyway, let's try again. Put this here. Let's just get another book page and tear that. Just want it torn off somewhere. And that goes on there. Put a bit on the bottom underneath to hold it down. Fold it up, tear it off. Let's cut that down so that it doesn't poke out too much. And then on this bottom bit here, I'm probably just going to continue that theme and put this book page on here. So you've got a whole heap of little book pages working down there. So we'll just put some on here. This last one. Here's my my cutter. It might work better to get this up. Only just because I've gone over the sides a bit. Let's just roll that back, or you could trim it off, either one, doesn't matter. Put the last bit on here. And this time we're going to go down to the bottom. Stick that on there, chop it off. Oops, okay, it's all happening here. Let's just get this chopped off. Oh dear. Yes, come and craft with me. If you want to have a mess, then I'm probably the person you need to watch. Okay, and then I'm probably just going to tear this again. I'm tearing it away from me so that the white is on the page that I don't want. Now let's just see what that's going to look like. And now I'm just going to run the ink over them. Okay, you know you've seen me do this before. Just put some paper down so I don't get ink all over my pad. And here's my Stampin' Up! Sponge block, in case you haven't seen that before. And I was teaching you in another video about how to ink, but I'll just repeat that. So if you start off the page, which is why I've got this white piece of paper here, so you won't get that hard edge. You just start off the page and just ink that. You probably just need the top because that's all that's really going to show. Okay, and then we'll do the next one. There's the next one here. Okay, that's probably enough for that one. Yep. And then the this one. That's quite nice, isn't it? And then unfold that, and let's do this one. So by doing this pockets, getting this fat edge, we'll do all of this because we've got going to show all this, so we'll do all of this one. You've got this rather fat pocket, and what you find is it's going to make it so much easier to slip those tags in and out. Now I'm just going to stack these up. Yep, put the middle one in the middle, the bottom one on the bottom, and the top one on the top. Very important to remember that. Yes. Okay, double-sided tape up here. Whatever your favourite adhesive is, that'd be good to know. You want to leave me a comment about what your favourite adhesives are. That can go out of the way now. Let's roll that over. Yes, remember to put the middle one in the middle. So this is the top one because I've got a torn edge. This is the bottom one, so therefore, power of elimination, this must be the middle one. And I want to hide that. Oops. Once double-sided tape grabs, it's hard to get it back, isn't it? It's like fighting the 2-year-old. Get it back to me. Give it back to me. Okay. Now, just going to put this up here. And put that there like that. So what I've got is I've got this little fold, so that all of that's going to be hidden on the back. I'm going to sew down the edges of these, but if you weren't going to sew, you might want to stick that down, but you really don't need to, because once that goes onto a page, it's all going to be stuck down anyway, so you don't really need to do anything much with it. And then to get your pockets, we just slip a couple of pockets in there. You can see that it's quite easy to slip them in and out. Whereas if you just have the edge, and I was doing one earlier, if I can find it, and I'll show you the difference. Here's one. So I was playing with this earlier and cutting some slits and working out how I was going to get things in and out. And what I found was once this is stuck down on a page, like when it's up here, I can go like this and I can stick that in there quite easily. But when it's stuck on a page, it's really hard to, it's going to be quite hard to get that, to find the edge of that thing. Whereas this way, because I've got quite a thick edge, it finds it really easily. So I thought that, you know, wow, I don't know, I haven't done this before, so I'm inventing this as I go along, and I worked out that by putting that fold, you've got such a nice thick edge that things slipped in and out really easily. It's also quite deep, so you could make these longer, which means you'd get longer tags in there. But I think that this is quite cute. I've got some tags I prepared earlier on another video, which you can go and look at if you like. These are little Rolodex tags that I've done. So that one's going to slip away, so you make sure you put them in. Again, if you wanted something that just sat there like that, then obviously you'd make your fold and this part here shorter. So instead of 5 by 7, you might make that 5 by 6 or 5 by 5, depending on how big the thing is that you wanted to slip in. But I think slipping these little pockets in like that is quite cute. And then you can pull these out and use them as little journal spots on the back, but they're nicely hidden away. And those book pages look quite cool, don't they? I like that it's got some dimension. I like dimension, even in a junk journal. I think dimension, for me, it's, you know, it's, I'm a very tactile person, and having things that are flat, or, you know, I need something with some dimension that I can touch. I like to touch things, dirty hands and all. So yeah, that's how I've done this, and I'm going to finish this off now, and I'll show you that later once I've done it.